Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for hanging around towards the back end of the conference. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today and to introduce some of the people that work within our program. I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people as the First Nation owners of this country and acknowledge the Eora Nation. We'd like to pay our respects to elders past and present. And in Western Australia, we still say elders past, present and emerging. And I think that's part of what we're here for today, is to discuss emerging leaders through our Ranger program. So really, our session is about the pathways and the future leaders coming through, working on country, being Rangers and connecting to Landcare. So I'm essentially here to put it in context, what we're delivering and where we're delivering and why. I work for NACC NRM. We are one of the 54 regional NRM bodies, which is a little bit uncommon for the delivery of a Ranger program. We're not a prescribed body corporate. We don't own land, but it was recognised that we have a very similar purpose, very similar focus, and that what we do in delivering under the Regional Landcare program is exactly the same as what First Nations people want. It's about working together. It's about looking after country, being on country, and looking after the assets that we have in our environment. It's about being respectful for each other and working towards a common goal. If you have a look through our purpose way and impact statements, that's what it's all about. It's about working with people to look after this country the best way we can going forward. So for a little bit of context, this is where we're based. This is the Northern Agricultural Region, rather a large area in the top end of the southwest of WA, approximately 15 local government areas, including an offshore assets as the Abrolhos Islands. And I'll put a few details on this slide just to give context around how our program came about. So the Midwest Aboriginal Ranger program commenced in 2017 as a trial, whereas the determinations within this region did not really get resolved until 2020 and 2021. It's a diverse area. The north of the region is the lands of the Southern Yamatji people. Slightly north of that, the Nanda people are also represented. To east of our region is Badimaya. The south is part of the Noongar determination, but largely the Ewa group within Noongar lands. So I think with the recognised gap back in 2017, NACC NRM was delivering a diversity of projects involving Aboriginal people. We do deliver across 4 programs: Aboriginal custodianship, coastal marine, sustainable agriculture and biodiversity. And a couple of our projects within there had really good Aboriginal custodianship participation, and that's kind of stepped into an application with the National Indigenous Australians Agency, and we have commenced forward from there. So this is how we deliver. And NACC NRM is, as I said, we're not an Aboriginal organisation, but we have the comparable goals and partnerships is what it's about. So 2 of our 3 partners for the delivery of our Rangers are Aboriginal-owned businesses and organisations. To the south of the region, supported by Ewart elders and run by Ewart people, is Quellenna Mumbacorp Wedge Island Community Aboriginal Corporation. Through them we have 2 full-time equivalents, but it's delivered on a casual basis with a couple of Rangers and a Ranger supervisor and a support structure around that. We also work with the Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions, the state government agency. So yes, this is definitely not an Aboriginal organisation, but there's the recognition that that organisation has access to a huge amount of land and really high value conservation estate, as well as being a leading employer in conservation. So by having that partnership, there is long-term career pathways for Rangers. There's some really strong skill sets in training and the opportunities that come forward. We also work with Western Mulga, which is another Aboriginal-owned business based out of Geraldton, And Western Mulga has the largest component of our ranger teams, 7 full-time equivalents. But by delivering through a casual model, just in the last reporting period, there was over 22 Aboriginal people employed directly out of Western Mulga. And that's fluctuated around, and the managing director of Western Mulga always tells me often not counting the white people that support that program. There's another 4 or 5 white people in there, which he really wants counted in the hours and the numbers to show that there's broader community support. It's not just about the Aboriginal people that are working here, there's a whole support network in place. That's a little bit complicated for the funder to understand when I try to put that through in the reporting, so we try to keep the numbers simple. So NACC is kind of the backbone structure in this. We have a contract of 1.2 FTE to provide that coordinator role. But we actually have 3 Indigenous people within the organisation that provide that support structure. And by delivering through this model, we can deliver across our entire region. So essentially 3 providers, there's 4 teams, right down in the south, Wedge Island, kind of central, Jurien Bay have 2 of their rangers. Geraldton has the 7 through Western Mulga that is open for all Aboriginal people. It's no particular language group. And there's another 2 rangers with DBCA in Geraldton. So largely, this is what we are contracted to deliver. These are our outcome statements. So it's a program that builds capacity and creates jobs. Like you've just seen, over 30 Aboriginal people employed. Each participant has a training budget and training commitments, and with the diversity of providers, there is a really broad diversity of training that takes place. It's based on the individual needs of those organisations, the individual needs of the rangers, where they're placed in their employment journey, and we're really proud of the diversity that is on offer. There's also a diversity of cultural and Western training that takes place. Each team is connected with elders across their region or an elders advisory group that kind of puts forward priorities in supporting the youth to take part in these roles. There's also the delivery of environmental services to multiple sectors. So the National Indigenous Australians Agency has taken the view going forward that they want these teams to be able to work across sectors. It's also about building the Aboriginal organisations that are delivering. So by being enabled to undertake fee-for-service and partner with different organisations, it's building the capacity of the organisations that are delivering ranger programs. It provides a diversity of exposure for the rangers and opens up the opportunities for further career pathways. So it's about preparing those career and economic opportunities. It's about being on country. Each ranger is developing conservation qualifications on land and sea. They're working across flora and fauna. So those sorts of opportunities opens up strategic conservation outcomes. This is where the rangers can be working on threatened species. They can be working with the local government authorisations on different small land care projects. Just provides that array of opportunities. That's also where it values adds to existing funding programs. NACC as a delivery organisation for regional land care partnerships has the opportunity to work with our rangers and our ranger providers to deliver land care services under the federal government's either threatened species or sustainable agriculture programs. We're really pleased to see the mentoring of youth and workforce entrants as creeping into one of our outcomes, and our providers are working within the schools and taking in trainees, taking in school-based apprenticeships, looking for those opportunities to partner and support youth coming in. A colleague of mine in the crowd has spoken to many people, and we're really keen to see our program go to a level below that, where we are supporting junior rangers and really showing those pathways. But at least at this stage, with our rangers being able to step into schools, demonstrate what this career looks like, really good opportunities are opening up. Obviously, we have the cultural values and learning on country, partnership with elders. Our last regional meeting, we had elders from every group across our entire region come and support and discuss what is happening with our team. And the final one there is developing NRM Indigenous leaders. That's part of what these guys are doing here today. It's not just about being those rangers on country, it's about looking for those long-term opportunities where one day these guys can replace people like me. So this is just a snapshot of what we do. The actual real work and how it happens on the ground is with these guys. So I'm going to hand over to Kane Shaw to share some of his.
Thank you, Kane. It's okay. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, for this is their land we meet today. As a trainee Aboriginal Ranger, I do a lot of work on my Yuwad Noongar Budja, country in Yuwad language. Our company... Oh, wait, did I press it? Our company is located at Wedge Island, a small community located 160 kilometres north of Perth, which is where my family and ancestors have lived for thousands of years. My grandfather, Charlie Shaw, grew up living off the land, learning about our Aboriginal culture. I am now grateful to be learning from him and the rest of my family doing conservation work for many companies such as DBCA, Granting Australia, local mining companies and the Australian National Defence Force. These jobs include work such as revegetation, seed collection, heritage surveys and helping with carbon offset. As a local Yuwad man, one of my roles is to share Yuwad knowledge that has been passed down to me by my family. I take people to heritage sites, such as the Pinnacles, and explain the cultural significance that the site have to our people, such as Dreamtime stories and how my ancestors would live off the land all those years ago. This is very rewarding to me, as I get to share my knowledge to others so that they can understand why the heritage sites are of significance to our people. This also helps protect the heritage sites by letting people know. As an environmental company and Aboriginal Rangers, we do a lot of work with native flora. This includes seed collection, translocation and rehabilitation. This helps us heal Budja in many ways, from fixing cleared landscapes, helping with carbon offset, and creating new habitats for native fauna. In the photos above, we are working with Granting Australia on a project in the Midwest where over 400,000 native plants were planted over the span of 2 months. Being a part of projects like this is a great experience and really lets us heal and love our Budja. We have been able to assist DBCA this year installing nesting areas for the Carnaby cockatoo. This is an endangered species of cockatoo that is only located in Western Australia. Its habitat mainly consists of wandoo and salmon gum woodlands. The nesting areas are put high in the wandoo tree and give the cockatoo a higher chance of laying eggs due to the natural nesting area being very scarce, large hollows in the trees. The man-made nesting areas have been specially designed to keep out feral animals, be insulated so that the cockatoos do not overheat or get too cold, and have a ramp for easy access so they don't hurt their wings or beaks. We need to have projects like this, otherwise the Carnaby cockatoo will go extinct. This will be very devastating to our people because my grandfather taught me that when the Carnaby cockatoo flies over you in the evening, it is our ancestors watching over us. As Aboriginal Rangers, we have a very diverse range of work. These jobs include native seed collection, feral animal trapping, revegetation, fencing, beach cleanups, and I've even gotten the chance to do my Certificate 3 in Conservation and Land Management. We do these jobs because we care for our budgia and help protect it in any way we can, so that the future generations can get to enjoy and love our budgia as well. Me and my co-worker were able to go out on an intertidal survey this year. The job involved walking along the shallow reef at low tide, looking for marine life with an ocean viewer, a bucket with a clear plastic bottom so you can see under the water. It was great that we got the chance to do this work because we have a very strong cultural connection to the ocean. This is just some of the work that we have been able to do, and I'm still learning and still loving country. Thank you very much. I'd like to pass it to Danny.
Thanks, Kane. My name's Nathaniel Clinch. I'm a buddy my person from Western Australia. At Western Mulga, we actually have our own nursery, built it from scratch, so it's really good to be a part of that. We go out on country and collect the seed, down to seed cleaning, doing the propagation, and actually putting them out on country. So it's real good doing that. Go out to heritage sites such as Bulla River, Willie Gully. They plant trees and fix fences, so that's good. We also partner up with mine sites and do rehab work, so yeah, enjoy putting plants in the ground. Western Mulga provides a lot of variety of training, such as tool making, firearm safety, fixing fences. We also had a chance to do our Chem Cert, 1080 baiting, certificate in land and conservation. Other tickets such as chainsaw tickets, first aid, and mental health training. So yeah, really enjoyed the mental health. See a lot of family members go through it, so it's a good experience to have. So also do malleefowl training, monitoring. Western Mulga works all through the region. It's a pretty big region. The photo on the left is Budimar country. We went up there for 3 weeks, separate weeks, going out and do a week's work of cleaning rock holes and clearing old tracks and access tracks and taking down old fences for the malleefowls. So that was good, going out on my country. The middle one, we actually went out and done a whole big clean-up at the Chapman River mouth. That one was really important because it's a threatened ecological community. So yeah, it was really good having a big clean-up that day. A month after, the river broke through, so we got in on time, and actually, yeah, it was good feeling. On the right, went down to Kane's country, Yud country. Went and checked out what KMAC crew was doing, and helped them in their ranger work. And it's good catching up with them because got to exchange gifts, tools, boomerangs, and paintings. So it's always good to learn a bit of their knowledge, what they know, and share our knowledge. Healing. as First Nations people. It's healing is an important practice to have, especially like when you're out in the country. You know, you sit down and relax, sit down with the old fellas and paint. Like that photo on the left, we had artist Ando. He's from Meekatharra up north, and he actually owns his own shop, and he's professional, so come down and show us a little tips and tricks and how to get a painting started. And the picture on the right is what we've done as a ranger crew, and it's a real big one, so we're all proud of it. It's the first painting we actually done, so, and it turned out wicked. And one of my favourite bits about painting and making artefacts is just watching it come to life. You know, as you're sitting there looking at it, you just look at it and just watch it come to life, and it's amazing, good feeling. That's me in the rock hole. It's pretty funny, but yeah, no, you can see how I had my work clothes on to start with, and being out on my country, my country, and it was like the rock hole was telling me to jump in and, you know, get a touch of that water, because I, you know, just felt like home. So it was good getting out there, meeting the elders, teaching us little tricks and a bit of their knowledge was one of my highlights of the year. One of the interesting things about the rock holes is they showed me this little trick. I was asking them what the stick was in the rock hole for. It's just hanging out a bit, and they reckon it was to help the animals get out if they get stuck in there. So that was a good one to learn from them. And yeah, just getting out on country, connecting with the elders, sitting around a campfire, learning their stories was wicked. And yeah, good thing to remember, what I always say, is care for country and the country will care for you. Thank you.
I was going to take the last couple of minutes just to talk about the future opportunities that we're working on in the program, but we've run out of time for that, so you have to hit these boys up for the rest of the afternoon if you've got anything else going forward. Thank you.
Well, we have actually got a couple of minutes for questions. If anyone's got any questions, maybe 2 or 3 questions.
Okay. So when you say you were cleaning out the rock holes, what's the importance of actually cleaning them out? I mean, is it algae that you're getting rid of? What are you getting out?
At the time, like, because we the elders were saying the rain was coming, so what we did was empty out all the water, because get rid of the old stale water and let it fill up again with fresh water. So yeah, good drinking water for the animals.
Great to hear about your work, guys. That's awesome. What do your family and your friends think about what you're doing out there on country?
Okay, want to come across? Well, all my family are really proud of me. They think of me as a leader, you know, and I've always looked up to my pop, and he's real proud of me, and that's really all that matters. I've only got one pop left, so better make him proud.